Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. Burning from my dust, smoking now I pull it up. I won't stop, so don't confront. Too much about to be a grunt. Watch my back and off the front. You drop it off, I pick it up. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Catch me creeping through the cut. All time say I'm dangerous. Cutting game just like a Ginsu. Funk inside my evil thoughts. I'm waiting on the money drop. Running, jumping, music bumping. Catch me creeping through the cut. Bust this fun
guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Peter said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now, entertain us.
You know, I'm looking at all the assets of each of these pro scenes. Were you? I feel like I'm interviewing you right now.
I do too. All of a sudden, I was not prepared for this.
It's actually interrogating you.
This is yeah.
So, were you on Ethan's last show?
I was on his first one. I don't know if that was
You weren't
his
on.
last one.
Well, I don't know which one it was, but obviously, whoever logged in and went on a stream.
Oh, I see where this is going.
completely
I see where this is going.
Fucked up all my scenes. I've had to, the first 10 minutes of my day was spent removing stuff that you guys added on.
Okay. I would demonstrate a little bit more sympathy for you had it not be for the fact that you deleted my entire studio once.
That was by mistake.
Okay.
I redid it. But you guys came in and fucked with my studio when you guys have the ability to have your own studios.
All right. Well, I will have to take responsibility for that because if this is the day that we were referring to, I had controls and not Ethan. So I have to go ahead.
Obviously, you guys were adding cameras to intros and music.
I don't even know how to do that. So
yeah, you just started clicking buttons. That's you
it.
didn't have to. That's the whole point.
It's the whole
No-
Street Fighter Nintendo.
Yeah,
Theory. You just mash all the buttons
mash
and the
it
kicks
till you
and,
beat it.
and then you electrocute over and over and over again, and eventually you win.
Well, speaking of eventually going over and over again until you win, actually, wait, before that, let's thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of NewsBrief. If you're on there and you're live, go ahead and comment. I put comments on the screen all the time. And if you guys could hit the share button so we can get more people watching the show. And to those that are watching, also go to the Warboy Studios channel or my channel or both and hit the post notification button on. Don't do that to the American Rise account, Barry Ramey's account. Do not mash the post notification button because it's so much more fun. Thank you, Jose.
This is what it's like working for Warboy Studios. You're always trying to hold the white man down.
Well, you fucking enslaved my people for 400 years. That's what you get.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So let's start with the first topic of the day. I don't know if any of the other hosts are going to join us, so I'm just going to move on. Let's talk about this historic peace deal with Iran. And people's position on it, I think, is the more important thing because we haven't. You mentioned it in the green room. You said we don't know what this deal is. Right. We know the basics with the administration. This deal was signed on Sunday. So we don't know the actual terms of the deal and what goes ahead and comes with all that. But I find people's reaction fucking, like I've been enlightened so much in the past 24 hours. So let's start with, what do you think about the peace deal in general?
Well, I'm going to pretend since Patty's not here, I'm going to go ahead and pretend like he is, and I'm going to answer for him. And I think to some extent there's validity in the argument, but what a lot of people like Patty are saying is that, it is a page and a half deal, a very comprehensive short deal. Donald Trump is the deal master, right? The art of the deal. He's the king of the deal.
Of course.
No argument there. So why haven't we seen the deal if it's so easy and comprehensive? Why is it such a secret? Because of course the guy can do no right. The first thing I noticed before even realizing that the deal had not been presented to the people or the press yet was that the gas pump this morning, I paid $4 a gallon, which is pretty good. Considering the other day I paid $4.50. So I mean that's where America's at right now with this war. Is the rising price is going to stop and stop immediately? But I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like you said, it just got reached Sunday. So let's see what happens. I did hear some talks about $300 billion being sent to Iran. I don't know if that's true or not, or what that looks like. But I do see the point. I would like to see what's going on here. And how is there going to be any longevity to it?
So that's, I guess you bring up a fair point. And one of the commenters says only 125 followers, listeners. And it's comical. It's comical that you don't know how this works. Because that might be on a channel that you're watching. But just so you guys know how the Warboy Studios works, we agitate this to multiple platforms. And currently we have 2,540 live viewers. So thank you.
Started.
And we just started. Usually it ramps up after 10 minutes. But
we don't have to worry about anything. He says he'll be probably in jail by the end of the day, considering that profile picture.
Did you see? Yeah, you saw the profile picture. Yeah, that was another comment I was going to make. But I think you bring up an excellent point. Will Iran, follow through with the deal? I don't know. I don't think so. Like, they're not known for it.
Historically, no.
They just keep getting fucking bombed over and over again. But I think the deal is good, right? And there's a lot of people pissed off about it. And it's usually either Israelis or the Israeli government or some people on our side, on the Western Hemisphere, that don't like it because it doesn't benefit Israel. We're not here to benefit Israel. We're here to benefit America. I was pleasantly surprised by the amount of people that I'm like, man, these people are a whole bunch of Israeli shills. Like they're sitting there, blah, 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 blah. Israel's good. Israel can do no wrong. And I was actually surprised. This was kind of a white pill moment where a lot of them actually sided with the president. It's like, fuck you. This is our deal. And so that kind of shows me that some of their loyalties lies with the president, which is okay. I'm loyal to the president. But some other people took the extreme position that this deal is completely horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible for Israel, therefore it's horrible for America. And that makes no fucking sense.
You had that tweet up on the screen before we started, and it was agitating to read, where the person said America is bullying Israel and Americans are bullying the Jews.
Yeah, let me actually put that up.
What the fuck planet are you on to actually believe that narrative, unless you're just a complete fucking propagandist for the Israeli government? Because that's not what's happening up until maybe hopefully now.
Yeah, and then here's another thing. Somebody in the comments, Joel, says giving $300 billion to Iran is a total lie. And it is technically, although technically it's true. It's part of an investment thing. Be like, hey, you give us all your nuclear fucking materials, and like we'll allow American companies to come in, and it's estimated that they could get $300 billion in American investments.
Okay, that's a lot different,
right? It's not like
pallets of cash from the Obama era.
Yeah, and what I find funny is like all these Obama simps, right? Michelle Obama's a man, and we're going to get into that later. All these Obama simps are like, oh, but we're sending them $300 billion. Okay, well, what happened to the Obama administration? Did you not And it just shows the partisanship that you have. And look, I find that okay, but when you hide it, I'm partisan. I wear it on my sleeve.
Yeah.
I hate that it doesn't show them it shows like their tags and not their username.
We're so partisan that we get labeled fascist.
But
for
here
our
we
partisans.
go. Good morning. Good morning to you too, ma'am. Trump said he will read the deal today live, which would be great if he like reads at least just. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's not going to read the whole document, but he's going to hit the bullet points, and we'll get to see what's in this fucking deal. But let me go ahead and put this tweet on the screen really quick.
I do want to make clear that I'm not complaining and bitching about it. I was just coming from the perspective of someone like Patrick Riley, who's going to automatically complain and bitch about it.
I sent him a text message. Hopefully he joins us. But
even if the deal cures HIV, Patty would still bitch about it.
Yeah. Let me actually zoom into this a little bit. I feel like you can't see it.
It's
Not better?
pathetic. Yeah, it's pathetic.
America is bullying Israel, and Americans are bullying Jews. That's the truth. Israel won't break. Jews won't break. Nobody's asking you to break. Right? And America's not bullying Israel. As a matter of fact, like America's been a great friend to Israel for a long time. I think a little bit too long. But that's my personal opinion. But the president gets these news briefings on a daily basis in the morning. National security, what's going on with the war. He communicates, through the State Department, Marco Rubio, CIA director, on what the deal is with this. His military advisors, and nobody's bullying shit. And I think Trump himself was a little bit pissed off this morning with Israel. Something that's like, oh, Trump's not fucking pissed. He's pissed because
scroll up. Let me see the profile picture. I think this encapsulates very perfectly what a lot of people's grievances are. Okay. Here you got this person. They've got the American flag and the Israel flag and the bald eagle little icon.
And they got the Iranian flag in their bio.
Look at that. Yeah, nice. Perfect. So you got all this mishmash of shit here, right? When an overwhelming majority stance against Israel when it comes to MAGA is we just want your money out of our fucking politics. We want you out of AIPAC. There's no reason why a foreign government is so invested into every single one of our congressmen and politicians and senators before they even get into office. They're financing their campaigns on both sides. This is some real Rothschild type shit. When you really look at it, you look at the American Revolution when they funded both sides of the fucking war. Yeah. So you've got this attachment at the hip where a certain element of people here in America do not see Israel as a separate government from America. And that's what our problem is. That's what our grievance is. There are two separate entities, and we are American first as Americans. This is ridiculous, but there you go.
I'll talk about this. This woman I think it's a woman.
Well, you assumed their gender.
Yeah.
It's Israel. So.
It should just remove the American flag off their display name.
Yeah.
And remove the eagle while you're at it. You could put the lion, because I guess that's like the Israeli
I think
animal.
I think their bird is the toucan. Right? I think the Israeli bird is the toucan. I'm not just making this up. I'm pretty sure it's the toucan.
Is there even toucans in the fucking in that country?
Well, no, but it's Israeli. Just steal them. So,
to my friends, to my Israeli and Jew friends, if you're worried about U.S. and Israel's relationship, you need to put a muzzle on Mark Levin. Mark Levin has come out completely against the president when it comes to Israel, right? He's been touted as the person. He just a couple months ago, he was criticizing somebody for criticizing the president publicly, right? When it came to Israel policy. And it was somebody that had a direct line to the president, right? And he's like, why didn't you just call him? Well, he spent all day going fucking apeshit against the administration, actually fighting with a close consultant of the president on this. And that shows you where the allegiance lies.
Yeah.
Right? Because if it's pro-Israel, it's pro-America. And if it's and look, I don't want it to seem Like, I'm like anti-Israel. I've said my position on Israel millions of times. I do think that they have the right to exist, but you don't have, if you have the ability to, right? And it seems like the ability for Israel to exist depends on us. But if they keep beefing with their fucking neighbor, like if I'm your brother, right? If I'm your brother and you live in a neighborhood and like you have a problem, a dispute with your neighbor, and I'm like the brother with the pistol. I'm the UFC fighter brother. You're just like you're just like a scrawny fucking dude. And then your neighbors want to kill you because every day you play loud music, every day you throw shit into their yard, they throw shit into your yard too. And you keep fucking fighting and you keep calling me, and I got to stop what the fuck I'm doing to defend you. And I'm not getting any benefit off of it, right? But you're my brother. I'm going to go help you. But how long do you continue before you tell your brother, hey, move the fuck out of there or chill the fuck out? Like, make peace with your fucking neighbor because I don't want to keep coming out here to defend you, right? Because I lose gas money. I lose, in this case, on a serious note, we lose troops. How many troops were fucking passed away? How much American service members passed away during this operation with Iran? The number is, it doesn't matter if it's one.
It's more.
It's more
one
than
is
one.
more than one is more than enough.
One is more than enough. So when is enough enough? You know, I'm going to use their term. When is enough enough?
Well, it reminds me of a scenario when I was a young kid. I was 5 years old.
Reno says 13. The number's 13.
I was 5 years old, and the neighborhood kids were playing baseball, and everyone was much older than I, and they didn't let me play because it was a serious game, and I had no idea what I was doing because I was 5. Well, that pissed me off, so while they weren't looking, I grabbed first base and I ran with it. I literally stole the base, and I went all the way home. Well, outside my house, almost instantly, was the entire neighborhood wanting to kick my ass because I stole their base. I told my father this, and my father's first question to me was, "What did you do?" So, what do you mean what I want to do? What did I do? There's 20 kids that want to kill me outside. He's like, yeah, well, when 20 kids want to kill you, you did something. What was it? No, it's like, yeah, I stole their base. Then I threw it on the roof at the house, and we got that problem solved. But it was the truth. I had done something that really pissed off a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what Israel needs to really hold up a mirror.
You're going to hear this in your ear. I'm not playing it on the thing yet. Wait, what? What just happened? Oh. Stand by. Again, they can't hear it. Let me put this up. This was Trump's comments today in the morning. Actually, I think it was last night, but let me full screen this.
Israel attacks Lebanon.
It can, and I consider that the minor war. The Iran's a big one, but we have that a little pinprick out there that constantly rears its head, and that's Hezbollah. And I was very responsible for Syria, and the man that's running Syria now is a person that I put there along with President Erdogan and some others. He's done an amazing job of pulling it together. He's not a Boy Scout, but he's done an amazing job of pulling it together. And he is very good with Hezbollah, does not like them. And I'll tell you what, Israel's fighting Hezbollah too long, and too many people are being killed. And you don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody, because there are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah, that I can tell you. And I suggested to Israel to let Syria take care of Hezbollah. Because to be honest with you, I think they do a better job of doing it.
Is that job on board with
And I
you?
didn't like Syria. I didn't like where 2 hours before we're signing the agreement that there was an attack in Lebanon, in Beirut. It wasn't like in the southern side, and it was in Beirut. I did not like that. I let them know that. I didn't like it, not at all. But I think that Syria, he's pulled that country together amazingly quickly. He's very capable. And he's been very good for me. He's protected everything that I've asked for, he's done. And if Israel can't do the job, without killing everyone else, he'll do the job. Syria will do the job.
Are you frustrated with Net?
The next question that was coming up, are you
Yeah.
frustrated with Netanyahu? I don't know what his answer would be. You know, he's probably trying to be diplomatic. Yes, I do have a pink Red Bull today. They did not have watermelon, but the pink one's actually really good. But there it shows you, and I think this is like a slow burn for the president, like he's getting pissed off.
Yeah.
You know, we saw him go ham where he says, they ask about Israel, and he said, they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Whoever made the song, is
It
fucking
was great.
So in that case, like, you're seeing, and this also goes to like the other side of the argument that people are like, oh, Trump's owned by Israel. It's kind of this is starting to show that he's kind of like he's tired of it.
Yeah.
He understands politics, right? And this was my not my concern, my criticism of Thomas Massey, which I generally like. I think he went a little bit too hard, but the problem is that he went against the leader of the party. He fucking sat there and he called it the Epstein administration, which I don't agree with. You could blame Pam Bondi, you could blame Todd Blanche, but blaming the president is a horrible idea. Pissing this guy off is a horrible idea, and I think that's what Israel's doing right now. Is you're pissing off the person that's helping you, the person that's helped you the most. As a matter of fact, the most pro-Israel president, I'll say it, the most pro-Israel president in our time is getting tired of their shit. And with the reason why I brought up Thomas Massey is you got to know how to play politics, because I'd rather have Massey in office, right? So in order to be in a position of power to make these decisions and to be the representative of the people, first off, you got to win. And was that a winning strategy? Obviously not. It was a fucking blowout. Yeah. Which we're going to talk about now at the end of this show. It's the last topic, is the Florida governor's race. But for the most part, don't play with this man. If you're Israel right now, if you're the Israeli people, if you're an American Jew that just wants to simp for Israel, that's fine. You can do that. Don't play with this man. You know, he's making the decision that he feels is best, and you voted for him. I can't say I voted for him. I wish I did. I was in prison. That's the reason why. If not, I would have voted for him in the primary and in the general election. We really need to. They really need to assess how they conduct business, because for Israel, Trump is a godsend. Trump is a godsend. I don't think just looking at the trends, I don't think the younger generation is a big fan of a foreign government intervening in our whether it's our foreign policy or our domestic policy. And I think it's not going to go well for them.
Well, I think a lot of people want to see fast. A lot of people, I do understand the sentiment of people that feel kind of betrayed and pushed to the side right now and feel that Israel has taken the place in front of them. Yeah. I think that, like you said, a lot of it's diplomacy and diplomatic, but I think hopefully this fuse is getting ready to burn out, because a lot of people are concerned with our attachment at the hip towards everything Israel.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, I hate this whole narrative. We find ourselves back here again, that if you criticize Israel or you say you want AIPAC money out of our politics, you're now anti-Semitic. It's the same bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not anti-Semitic. I don't give a shit what your fucking religion is, because you could be culturally Jewish. You don't have to be a practicing Jew. I don't care what the fuck you are.
Right. So, but saying I want AIPAC money out of politics is not saying Antifada, River to the Sea. And they try to wrap it up in one bundle, and that's annoying.
Look, Israel wants, and we spoke about this before also, because we cover everything. I always say that because we cover everything here. But like, Israel wants the greater Israel, right? Mm-hmm. Which is like all the lands are surrounding it, right? And look, if they do it, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. You want to go take over fucking Iran, which I think wouldn't be. I don't think Israel has a capability of taking over Iran. Just geographically speaking, like people that don't know shit, they're like, oh, well, Israel could take on anybody around there. I don't think they could take on Iran on their own. Just Iran. Let's not go with the other ones. There's mountains that separate them. There's a lot of logistical issues. But if they want to do it, fuck, do it. Just do it without us. You don't need our help to defend yourself. Would there be like, if you buy weapons from us, cool. We buy technology from you. Like that's a trade partner, right? I don't like saying Israel's our greatest ally. Israel would be a great partner when it comes to, the military fucking, not just surplus, but like technologies and stuff like that. And a lot of good technology that we use, some overused by the U.S. government, it comes from Israel, But I don't like saying ally. I don't think that America shouldn't have allies. America should have partners in specific areas because not everybody's good, right? I'll give you the example. Like you could have allies in the J6 community, for example. I consider them brothers and sisters, but some of them aren't good. Some of them are like you can't fuck with right now.
Yeah.
And because there's issues, and maybe some of that is PTSD. But you have to, if I'm going to partner with somebody, like I'll give you the prime controversial example, Jake, right? I'll never partner with Jake on like a business endeavor, a political endeavor, or any of the sort. Will I talk to him? Probably not right now after those text messages that came out. But you have to be, I guess Jake's not a good example, but you have to be selective.
You do.
You have to be selective, and I'm going to partner with you in this regard. I'm not going to partner you in that regard.
It goes back to what our parents teach us as kids. You're only good as the company you keep around. Yeah. And there's a stigma that comes with bad people, and there's a stigma that comes with good people. Yeah. And when you're around better people that are up to good things in life, that are trying to make a change in the world around them, those are the people that you want to surround yourself. And that there's no demographic of human beings where all of them meet those qualifications. Every one of us are sinners. Every one of us has our flaws, no doubt. But there are certain people that embrace lifestyles and lifestyle choices in every demographic of human. J6ers are no different. Yeah. That you just don't want to be around. It's not a good look.
Okay, so let's move on to another topic. I think we've rammed this for 32 minutes, which is typically unusual.
Yeah, time flies when you're bored as hell, I guess.
Yeah. When you don't do shit, when you don't make money, we don't make a single dollar off this. But if you do want to support us, go to 1776.shop. I'm still working. I said last week that we were going to launch a new website. I'm having problems contacting the person that's good at transferring stuff. But we're gonna be having a rebrand on the 1776 shop.
Wait, shock. Hold on. So let me get this straight. You're building a website.
And the website's built.
Having a problem with the designer getting stuff done.
No. I'm the designer.
Okay.
Because I could never trust anybody to do anything.
I'm pretty sure that's how website design works. They teach them that in school. Like, grab the money, get the job. Don't answer your phone for 3 to 6 months. Pop up, do like 10% of the work, ask for more money, then turn your phone off again for another 2 months.
It's a very short ethics class.
Yeah, I think
all the other
pretty
ones
much how web design goes.
Is a full semester. Ethics is probably like a 30-minute crash course.
Yeah.
No homework.
Just turn your phone off.
Yeah. And then you can get, here, look, I'm actually wearing it today. You can get shirts like this. Democrats fucking eat children.
No lies detected. I mean, let's be real about it.
Yeah. Now, if you're brave enough to wear this in public, I do.
That's the thing I think with a lot of our shirts, especially that one, is people, and I don't blame them or fault them for that, but especially if you're like living in downtown Detroit, that's gross. Why would you do that? Move the fuck out. But, nonetheless, you might have a physical altercation because, let's be honest, most people that vote Democrat are low IQ fucking Neanderthals.
I agree. Moving on to UFC 250. There's a breaking news on that, by the way, but I'll save it for a sec. So this weekend was the UFC 250. And there's always people that criticize this event. There was a group trying to shut it down through the courts.
Oh, but when we have Tranny Day at the White House with
with their tits out,
yeah,
that's cool.
that's cool. Let's not we celebrate that. Yeah, right. Out of here.
And like, they're kind of right. Like, in your typical like American status quo for the past 70 years, 60 years, this wouldn't happen, right? They called it like bread and circuses, or whatever. I saw it quite different. Like, I want to have pride, in the country I live in. And like, it kind of gave me pride. It's like, hey, look, we're doing things differently in this administration, things that are unorthodox to what you think the government should do. And America's been a country built on rebellion, built on fighting, right?
Yes.
And why is he calling? Hold on, I'm going to pick up this call. Bobby, I'm in the middle of a podcast. Could you hear?
Classic Bobby.
I don't know what that is. Let me finish the pod. Wait, say that again?
He hung up.
Fuck you. Did you hear the fuck?
Yeah. I could hear it.
And like, dude, it just kind of gives me pride that like we are a country, we are the leader, the world leader, right? And to be able to do things like this is amazing. Did you see the entrance with the eagle?
Yeah.
UFC, it's a fucking fight sport, and it's a country built on rebellion and like fighting back. And I think nothing encompasses it more than these fight sports. And to have it on the White House grounds, it's supposed to be holy ground. No, that's like what regular people fucking watch. That's what your regular American watches and roots for and spends their time when they come out of work. I think it was great. And I got a lot of criticism for like supporting Sean Strickland's, fucking going out there in his little political stunt.
How could you not?
But I mean, look, I get that he's criticized the president, and that's not why I support the guy. But what I think what's amazing about this is like you're getting these irregular, like Sean Strickland is somebody we hang out with. Right, yeah. It's like not physically, like we haven't hung out. I would love to hang out with Sean Strickland.
Yeah, but we've got a couple several Sean Stricklands in our group of friends.
Exactly. So it's not like some suit and tie fucking goober that's just fucking sitting there acting retarded. I rather like some other dude just act retarded and he's like, oh well, I'm not gonna get in. Well, I'm gonna fucking come out here and like try to fight. Like, I didn't understand that. Maybe somebody in the comments, I think Reno probably watched it, but like he was in a ring. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
He was like on a ring when like the cops swarmed him.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did they who put this ring up?
Well, so there was a preliminary like fans day, like for the fans, people that showed up early, and that was kind of a stage prop, I think, in that whole little event they were doing. But what was good about this event, man, is for so long, us men on the right have been complaining about the pussification of America, specifically our young men. Okay, we have parents taking their fucking little boys out to drag shows and having them fucking strike a pose on a bunch of gymnastic mats in front of a bunch of adults cheering and throwing them beads. This is what the previous administration was permeating into our fucking children. So now we have an administration that wants to remind America of what a fucking America is about. Men are supposed to be men. Men are supposed to fight. Be proud of that. And to celebrate an organization like UFC, who didn't give way to the BLM Marxist fucking cuckery bullshit, who didn't have their fucking fighters wearing pride flags on their fucking shorts. Let's celebrate them now with the country, because they had the country's back the whole time. They weren't trying to fucking Marxism us up with the faggotry, quite simply.
Yeah, and then Dana White is a prime example of somebody that's shifted the culture over, because he allowed, it started out, the free speech debate in UFC started out with people supporting President Trump.
Sure.
Right? And like, we were like, fuck yeah. Like finally, like some type of fucking sports that grows some balls.
Right.
Right? Not taking a knee and lifting a fist in the air. Right? But then you have to, when you support free speech, you have to support it all.
Yeah.
Right? And some people, including Sean Strickland, have been critical of the president. At first they supported him, now he's critical. You have to support that free speech across the board, right? I don't like what he said about the president. I don't think it's accurate,
Right.
right? But I also don't. There's a level of like seriousness that comes with him. I think he's just shit posting. That's another thing.
Which is funny.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I think that he does have a problem with the Epstein files. I don't think that he blames the president per se, even though he's voicing that opinion. I think he's just shit posting. You know, he's being a dude.
Yeah.
Like we fucking roast each other all the fucking time. So like, I give him a pass because he's not a liberal fucking shitbag.
Yeah. And I think, let's face it, he is the light heavyweight champ. And he's a very, very good fighter. The thing about sports or specifically MMA, you can have a problem with someone, you can talk shit and you cannot like the shit they talk, but there's only one fucking way to prove your shit at the end of the day. And that's step into that fucking ring and see what happens. Right. So now he came from nothing. He has a voice now. He has a huge fan base that love him and he has a voice. I think he does care genuinely about kids. I think he does care about this Epstein shit. And I think at first he tried using his voice and I believe it was dismissed. So he got fucking louder because he's not going to shut up. Yeah. And he used his voice. I don't agree with what he said about the president specifically, but if his voice does pressure the release of the files in the long run, and it was an added straw on the camel back, then I support that. Again, I do not believe he's right and accurate about the president whatsoever.
I also think there's a psychological aspect to people that enter politics for the first time. So when you're young, when you're a teenager, you're a libertarian most of the time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not picking this side, it's like rebellious.
Right.
Right? Or you have, and this is the ones that I'm talking about, or there's an issue that you're passionate about, one issue that you're passionate about, that you hear a politician hear your side or against your side, and you become super passionate, right? So usually it's one topic that brings you in to politics. So when you first start off, you're very passionate. I'll give you the prime example. There's a lot of Bernie supporters from 2016 that wanted fucking weed to be legalized. And that was like their only shtick.
Yeah.
They just got into politics. They're weed smokers. They want fucking legalized weed. They see their friends get arrested for it. They've probably been arrested for it. And that becomes like your single issue. Now, when you mature in the political realm, it starts becoming multiple issues, right? You start getting multiple, and you grab them and you hold on to them. And those are your positions. You kind of create this character within you that you didn't know existed. Then and like, we'll keep using the Bernie people as an example. They're like, oh, Bernie's my guy because of weed. And then he gets fucked over by Hillary Clinton and the DNC. Right. So instantly now they have a second issue. They have a second issue on how primaries are ran. And they're like, bullshit. Fucking Bernie was able to fill, the only time he was able to fill something was, I think, in Seattle. A stadium. And then now you delve into election politics and you delve into primaries. And then you're like, fuck him, I'm going to go Trump, which is what happened with a lot of Bernie supporters. And a lot of Proud Boys. A lot of Proud Boys came in because they were Bernie supporters, and they came in now
because they bought the narrative that Bernie was different.
Yes.
That was it.
And now their eyes are open. Now they're very versed in different avenues.
Sure.
So so with Sean Strickland, I think his passion is children. That's a very emotional pull. You don't want to see fucking children get hurt.
Right.
Right. And I think that some of these people will morph and become politically mature and start opening their eyes to other things that are going on in the United States and how crooked even our government is. Because we always criticize like third world governments, but our government's very, very similar.
Oh, sure.
It just has a suit and tie.
You brought up a very interesting point, and I think it comes along with just maturing in general. What is that old saying? They say, if you're not a libertarian in your 20s, you had no heart. If you're not a conservative in your 40s, you have no brain. Yeah. So with maturing and becoming older, you start to care about more things. You see the world versus that little pinhole that you looked at it when you were younger, and you see the wider scope. And if you're into politics, it's just natural that you're going to take it that route as well. But yeah, it is. I think the primary and the Democrats, is what really got a lot of people to take Trump serious that weren't taking him serious from the beginning. They just wanted something different that wasn't part of the establishment, and they bought the bullshit lie that Bernie was it.
See, I've been doing this for a long time, and like, you know, what brought me in was I got in an argument with my coworker about George Bush, and I didn't really care. Like, I was a kid, you know, I was just trying to get pussy and fucking get laid and fucking get a car and all this shit.
So you got into politics for that?
Well, I didn't care about politics, so I argued with him, and then there was no better red pill moment than fucking coming into work and George Bush in his second term wins, and me being able to throw it in his face. And then I got involved, and over 20 plus years, I've gotten into so many arguments, and I've gotten like to read so many articles and books and stuff like that. I consider myself pretty well versed across the spectrum, not a very professional at one. I love foreign policy, which is like the top tier. When people start talking foreign policy, that's you know you're already in. And I'm talking about real foreign policy, not just like, oh, I hate Israel or I hate Iran or I hate the Muslims. Like real foreign policy, like real politic, right? And I think that's like the cream of the crop because you're expanding, and I think everybody gets there. Everybody gets there, no matter when they start. Everybody gets there. So I think that we really need to take a look at this from a lens of where's Sean Strickland coming from, right? But to jump back on like the general topic, you know, I think this was good. This was good for America. A whole bunch of people fucking tuned in.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Liberal meltdowns are fucking great. Did you see the counter programming that the liberals had?
I've seen a few clips of how embarrassing it was, but I mean, it was. Do you remember during COVID, during 2020, when they did their DNC all virtual?
Yeah.
And they had that weird, bizarre gay guy, black dude doing that song. And oh my God, it was so cringe. They were like missing their mark when to start talking. And they're like,
Dr. Fauci, give me.
Hi, I'm Nancy Pelosi, and we're with House Democrats. Yeah. Next, and then it's got this guy dancing and moving and doing all this gay stuff. Like, oh,
Shucking
God.
and jiving.
Yeah, shucking and jiving. The jive turkeys.
Jive turkeys.
Jive turkeys. All you jive turkeys.
Yeah, the counter programming, I saw a couple clips of it. It was like a whole bunch of like an older liberal women. There was no men on stage. And then they were like singing.
Fuck the patriarchy.
And then while that was going on, these guys are fucking beating the shit out of each other. Like at the White House. It's like, what would you rather watch?
Yeah.
And it's not fucking bread and circuses. You know, it's not bread and circuses. Like one thing, like don't do it in a military installation or involve the military in doing these things, but it's the White House. It's the people's house, right? Like what do the people watch? What's cool right now? And it's fucking fight sports, crypto. You know, that's the future. AI, that's the future of America. So I think it's a great thing.
I wonder how many college-based liberal relationships ended that day because their boyfriends snuck out to a bar or went somewhere to watch the fucking fights while their girlfriends were at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man.
Which actually I have something similar. So put a note in that. We went before this event, this UFC event. It's a 2-day event, Saturday and Sunday. Me and you took a trip.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect this trip to be so good.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So we went to an event hosted by Weaponization Watch, and Cynthia Hughes is the CEO of Weaponization Watch, and before that, she had this organization called the Patriot Freedom Project, and we were invited as guests. And you know, usually these events, like you sit there, you just listen to somebody speak, you know, somebody you agree with, which I find after so long of being the shit, like I don't want to listen to somebody. I love Trump rallies just because I love like talking to other Trump supporters, but I don't like listening to the president speak, not because of anything. It's just like I've seen it a million times, and I agree with practically everything he says. So it's kind of like you're preaching to the choir, you know. so we went over there, and it was different than that. You know, there was this commune, there was this networking, and it was for a really good cause, which is the weaponization of the government, which I think is the most important thing that we should be focused on. The weaponization of the government by the Biden administration and the FBI and the DOJ, which are all under the executive branch. You know, we were weaponized against because of the executive branch and their targeting of January 6ers. And I also, did you notice this? There was a shift. It wasn't just about J6ers. It was like what she did is took the laser focus off J6ers and she said weaponization in general. Because obviously J6 was an event that a lot of people know about, but there's a lot of other people that, you know, you've never heard of that were weaponized against.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about the event in your eyes.
Oh, it was definitely, like you said, it was built around networking and having conversations with people. You had Nick Shirley there, the fraudster finder goat himself, and, you know, he was doing his thing. And I had sent him a message actually several months ago on X, and of course he never really looked at it. I'm sure his DMs are fucking nothing but death threats from the left. But I got a chance to talk to him, and what I had sent him a while ago, he responded, and I'm going to link up with him and send him what I have, the receipts. You know, like when I was in the BOP, to long story short, they performed a physical on me with the doctor and about 30 or 40 other inmates. And when we got our medical records back from that physical trip to that doctor that day, there was a slew of lists of procedures and tests and things this doctor claimed he did from all these expensive scans and MRIs that were never performed. And this was how all of our paperwork looked. Each one of those tests are charged to the taxpayer by tens of thousands of dollars. So that is something worth looking at. So, you know, I was glad to be in a position where I could, you know, show that to him. So, you know, let's see where that goes. But it was really cool. I think it was a really nice event. A lot of cool people stories that were, you know, we wish they'd never happened. But to hear them, like you said, they're not J6ers, and a lot of people don't know about them.
Yeah.
And it's all the Biden administration. You can trace it back to one time in our history, over the last 4 years before Trump, where all this weaponization began.
And just like I talked about the psychological aspect of getting into politics, it's kind of the same thing with some J6ers. Like, I tell J6ers all the time, like, never stop talking about J6, but have another focus.
Mm-hmm.
You know, focus on something else.
Patriot Act.
Use your voice, because you've been giving this. All J6ers have been given amplification. And they've, right when they got out of prison, they were given this bullhorn, right? And at the time, that's what you had to focus on. When we got released, that's what you had to focus on, J6, 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 J6. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not saying to stop talking about it. I'm saying to have a second focus and use that voice to change the world as you see fit. Some people have misused that bullhorn. But for the most part, you've been given a tool. And, you know, the American people aren't going to like sit there and care about J6 as much as they did at one point, because we're out.
Yeah.
We're out of prison. There's still a lot of work to do, but the emotional pull of J6 is out. You know, use your voice and focus on other things, whether you want to focus on like, you know, the Epstein files, child trafficking, sex trafficking, all of that shit. Just focus on it. So I think that all in all, it was a great event. I snuck in with a warrant, which I infiltrated and exfiltrated from DC without a cinch. You know, I didn't want to have to do that, but this was an important event. We're trying to do as much good as possible, and I think I got to thank Cynthia. Cynthia's an amazing, and people shit on her all the time, including some J6ers. But I think it's important to like look at who moved the needle, right? Like Suzanne Monk moved the needle. Cynthia Hughes moved the needle. They don't like each other, or at least I don't think they do, because it's hard to keep up with.
Don and Donna, Real America's Voice, Jim Hoff, Joe Hoff, the Gateway pundit, Kara Castronova. You know, there's people that did move the needle, and without a doubt,
And
she
some
is
of
one
them
of
don't get along with each other.
Yeah,
and it's okay.
It's okay. And here's the reality. I mean, a lot of people that, of all the people that were aforementioned, Cynthia especially, you know, there's a lot of things that she did and a lot of arguments she had and won that people don't know.
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
that we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her.
And she works,
So-
she has two sides. She has a side that you see with the tweets and the events. And there's the shadow side that's actually advocating behind the scenes to get some of these things done.
And she has the ear of people that are actually listening that can make
The
a change.
decision makers.
Yeah.
So I think Cynthia for putting things together.
Yep.
Because she doesn't tout all her achievements, which I think is very intelligent, very strategic. She doesn't tout everything that she's done. Everybody that she's helped, she doesn't advertise it. I had this conversation in a space yesterday. Like, if you're doing charity work, you don't have to show every time people, oh, I gave money. Oh, I did this. Oh, I helped this. I did a food drive. Like,
In fact, the Bible says you should not do that.
yeah, you shouldn't do that. Exactly. And I think she's a person that, like, at least in that part, she does very well with, because she does very good work and she doesn't advertise it.
Right.
So big shout out to Cynthia there. I want to get into like our final topic, which I think is really important, and it's the Florida governor's race. I made a post the other day. We have four, I'm going to be honest, at least from my perspective. We have four, for the first time that I've been involved in this shit, we have four amazing candidates. Four amazing individuals that, you know, have flaws, but four people that I wouldn't be mad at if they won. You know, I'm going to support whoever the Republican nominee is. You know, and it's not because of anything, because there's sometimes that I saw the Florida governor's race and I saw people in the primary, I'm like, I definitely won't raise a finger to help this guy. But these four individuals are pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
You know, you got, and then just to name them, you got Byron Donalds, right? You got Jay Collins, which is the current lieutenant governor of the state. You got James Fishback, which is like a fucking like
Mini Trump.
buzzsaw. Yeah, a mini Trump. That's the perfect way to put it. And then you have Paul Renner,
Yeah.
which was the Speaker of the House. Like, all four of these people are great people in their own regard. You know, and I'll go down the list. Byron Donalds has the ear of the president. At first, he was very critical of J6ers, but then he came around and actually became one of the biggest supporters of J6ers in their release.
Yep.
You know, you've talked to him. You've
Yes.
talked to him more than I have. And, you know, he understands what we went through. So, like, I have a level of loyalty to Byron Donalds, you know, that's very hard. That makes it very hard. And you have Jay Collins, which isn't like the best, like, speaker or like the most exciting candidate. But I think, you know, DeSantis was not an exciting candidate. As a matter of fact, DeSantis isn't very, like, he doesn't have that spark, but he's a doer.
And he has
He gets it done.
Ron DeSantis' biggest weapon is his fundamental, thorough understanding of the law.
Yeah.
He if he's going to put something forward, he's already gone through the law and the legality of it with a fine-tooth comb and knows everything he needs to know.
It's like
and that's dangerous in a good way, especially for him and us.
It's literal weaponized autism. Right?
Yeah.
It's weaponized autism. This guy is the best governor in Florida's history.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best governor right now, by far, in the United States.
Absolutely.
Okay. And he chose Jay Collins as his lieutenant governor. That carries weight to me. And that makes me think, well, maybe I go for Jay Collins. Now, another person that's extremely notable and has caught Florida by storm, a literal fucking Floridian hurricane, is James Fishback. And I got to talk to him. I've had this conversation with Reno a bunch of times. And I'm like, you know, this guy just seems like he's selling me like shit that he doesn't believe in. You know, and that was in the beginning when I would just catch clips. But then I started watching and I'm listening to him. I still had questions on how he was going to implement all these cool things that he's talking about. So I took it upon myself and I went to one of his events here in Miami and I got some one-on-one time with him. And I'm like, hey, you say all these things, but I don't ever hear you say how you're going to implement them. And I'm not saying that he's never has. I've never heard it because I have very limited time to fucking sit there and scroll and listen. And he outlined every single thing, every question I had, he outlined it. Well, this is what I do. The way that I implement it is I take the power out of the city governments to do this. Or because I asked him about the AI data centers, right? And the power comes in those counties and those cities that are implementing those. He says that he wants to take away that power from the city and county and put it in the hands of the governor to stop these data centers from being created. Because he said, I'm going to stop data centers. And I was like, how the fuck is he going to do that? And he actually gave me a path forward that I feel like is very viable. Very well-mannered, very educated person, very likable. I don't know if his charisma fucking got me and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is a great guy. So maybe I should pick Fishback. Another one that's not spoken about a lot is Renner, which used to be the Speaker of the House. But he has been very effective. He's kind of like a DeSantis kind of figure. He just speaks a little bit better. He's a doer. And I like him because of his record. I don't know. I know more about the other three than I know about Renner. I just know Renner because of the things that he's done in Florida. So you got these four, and I am genuinely, for the first time also, I'm an undecided voter. I don't know who I'd fucking check the box for.
Right. Yeah, that's not a bad. It's a good kind of problem to have, I guess.
Yeah. And you don't got two of them. You got four.
Right.
So I'm one of those undecided voters. So I took it upon myself in the past couple of weeks to kind of reach out to these candidates. Hopefully, I think two of them, I'm going to push for three. Byron Donalds is going to be a little difficult to get. And have them and interview them. I already got back with James Fishback's crew and Jay Collins' crew. So I think that's coming in the next week or two where I'm gonna interview both of them. And the cool part is that I know enough about the four of them that I could challenge them because I do want to challenge them.
Yeah.
I want to see what their policy is, how they would implement it. And I want to challenge them to some of the things that they've said and some of my personal views, right? I'll have personal questions. Like, what do you think about J6?
Yeah.
Not that they could do anything about it because that's more of a federal thing. I just want to know where their mindset is.
Sure. I think it says a lot about the candidate itself. It's funny that you say that because my mom goes to a lot of conservative little gatherings and events in her Century Village 55 and older community. And that's the first question she'll ask anybody is what their thoughts are on J6, since her son was involved in one of the 500 tips of the spear. But I have a question for you, Mr. Tario. What is that stellar necklace you have on? What's going on there? It looks pretty cool. It has this real Carmelo Anthony vibe right now. You going on? I don't know why.
It's not a gas station knife.
Oh,
so
it's a cleat sharpener. I've seen those. Cleat sharpener.
Cleat sharpener when I go to my football games.
Yes, track meets.
Yeah, track meets. Similar to what Carmelo Anthony. Wore.
Right. Okay. All right.
But something. Now that we're talking about these four candidates and me being undecided, and there's many people like me. Have you made a decision?
If I had to do it today and it was the primary, I think I would cast a vote for Fishback.
You'd cast a vote for
in the primary, yeah. But again, I wouldn't be upset if it was any of the thing. Right now, for me, it's the AIPAC money in politics.
But are you convinced?
No. Short answer is no.
But if you vote today, you'd vote for Fishback.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of people, and they're like, I don't know. It's
a tough one.
I
do like Byron Donalds. I'm not going to be upset if he's the governor at all. But the AIPAC money in all politicians, I'd like to see the ones that start making a stance against it. And Fishback has.
So like I had to physically go out to go meet Jay Collins. We met Jay Collins by accident.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we didn't know who he was.
I was sitting right next to him, and I didn't know who it was.
Yeah,
at Mar-a-Lago.
I'm like signaling you. I'm like, this guy. And you're like, who the fuck is this guy? And which I think is a problem for him. But regardless of the fact,
He was pretty cool though. I mean,
I had to go out of my way, and me, because I have some time on my hands and I go to political events. So what if you're undecided and like you have a 9 to 5, you know, you got kids at home, you got like the whole life going, you know? What's the best way to dictate which of these people you're going to select? And the best way to do it is a televised debate.
which Fishback is calling for adamantly.
Well, there's 3 candidates that are calling for a debate,
But not Byron
our
Donalds.
own governor. I don't fault him for that. You know that?
He doesn't have to. He's ahead by 95%.
I wouldn't like if I was in his lead, I'd be like, "Fuck debates. I'm not doing
Smart
this
political
shit."
move. We've seen Trump do it.
He's playing politics.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
So here's the deal. Why are we arguing about this? And the reason why we're like debating this is because the Republican Party of Florida, the RPOF, has decided, based on arbitrary rules that nobody knows of, there will be no debate because the only person that's qualified is Byron Donalds. And I think that that's not fair. They
It's a
got
technicality.
a shit ton of flack.
Yeah.
A shit ton of flack for doing this. So I think that they made a major mistake, and they were listening. There's 2 people that were, besides the RPOF themselves, there was 2 people lobbying for this, and one of them was Laura Loomer, and the other one was Randy Fine. You know, Randy Fine congratulated himself for kicking Fishback out of the running. The RPOF is not doing anybody any favors. Look, I'm going to be honest. Some people might not like what I got to say here. I don't think Reno's going to like what I got to say here. The President of the United States has a stranglehold
that's
on
obvious.
the party.
Yeah.
Okay? He's unseated Thomas Massey. He's unseated Nancy Mace. Cornyn. I mean, this guy has proven that he has the Republican Party and the old guard by the balls. There is no doubt in my mind, put it this way, that if I had to make a choice and I wanted to make some money, I'd bet Byron Donalds. I don't give a fuck what the odds are. I would never bet $1 on anybody else in that race besides Byron Donalds, because Byron Donalds is going to be the Republican nominee for governor in 2026 for the state of Florida. There's no doubt. And I'm going to sit here. When I sit Jay Collins in that seat, when I sit James Fishback on that seat, I'm going to say that. I'm going to be like, look, there's nothing you guys can do. I'm sorry. I think you guys are great dudes. Now, with that being said, the danger to the Florida Republican Party, or I think nationally, doesn't come in Jay Collins. It doesn't come on Paul Renner. It comes on James Fishback. The amount of support he gets of men and women that are under 35 is fucking ridiculous. It's forward-looking. Look into the future. You will have, quote me right now, you will have candidates like Fishback winning, or Fishback himself, winning state races, federal races, and maybe even the presidency in the next 5 to 10 years.
I highly doubt Fishback is going to walk away if he doesn't win. This guy's going to be back for sure for something.
Yeah. Problem is, Florida will turn if there's no debates. Look, Reno, I get it in theory, but the villages, bro. The villages. You can't win the villages on Twitter. You can't win the villages turning out a shit ton of people. But one day the villages are going to be full of people that think like Fishback. And that's where I'm looking at. And then that is wrong. We need a debate. She's talking about the debate. He unseated them because they are rhinos. We knew that. We aren't idiots. I agree with you. The RPOF should host these debates. Even if they host these debates, I think it's inevitable. But yes, it is completely wrong what the RPOF is doing. We met Evan Power, which is the head of the Republican Party. I've met him multiple times. He's a really good dude, but he plays politics, and I think he should reverse course when it comes to these debates. I think he should really reverse course.
Yeah.
Reno says, people will vote blue or withhold votes. Mark my words. I doubt it. I don't. Look, here's my prediction. The younger vote, and when I say younger vote, is under 25, which is like his big gap between all the other candidates. I think they turn out in less than 5%. I think the over 40 vote is going to be in the 70, 80%, probably higher. And that in between, it's all about turnout. Older people turn out. Sometimes they don't have to leave their communities and they vote by mail.
Yeah, well, a lot of those older communities, especially those big ones like the Village and Century Village, they have a polling booth right there in the establishment, in the condo complex, considering it has its own area code.
Steve Jackson says, it's one big group and you are not in it. I think that's a good comment across the board. I mean, no matter what part of the political spectrum is, we're not part of the the elite decision makers.
Well, you can't even second guess that if you're a Democrat. They didn't even involve them in their own fucking primary last time.
Jose, why is this screen popping up? So weird. Trump endorsed Byron Donalds. I'm going with the president's recipe, my 2 cents. And look, a lot of people are like that.
I get it.
You got me? Like most Floridians are like that.
I've had a few conversations with Byron. He's not a bad guy. I like
it. Now the question is, does Ron DeSantis support, and I think he will, does Ron DeSantis support the presidential, not the presidential, the nominee for the Republican Party in Florida?
I think Ron DeSantis has had enough of fucking around and finding out with Trump. I'd imagine he's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he's a very intelligent guy. I'd like to see him in whatever 2028 administration is there. I'd like to actually see him in this administration. I think Trump should pick him up for something.
Oh yeah, agreed. Agreed.
The attorney general.
He would make amazing.
He could make him acting attorney general because I think Todd Blanche is gone after the next 3 months or 4 months. I don't think he gets Senate confirmed. There's no chance in the world after going after the SPLC. Trying to throw out the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers case, the Weaponization Fund. I think there's no way he gets Senate confirmed and we have another acting attorney general and he goes back. Here's what a lot of people don't remember. He could go back to his deputy attorney general post. He's already Senate confirmed in that regard. So he gets to still run the DOJ. We get to get a new acting attorney general. And I think in one of those cases, you might see Ron DeSantis. And the timing is kind of odd, right? The president just recently endorsed Todd Blanche for attorney general, and that process takes time. He's got to go through the Senate confirmation, the hearings, all that bullshit. And we're about to get into the realm of the midterm election. Ron DeSantis steps down. It's not hard to see them push this along and put Ron DeSantis as the acting attorney general, which I think would be a fucking buzzsaw. I think that he would fucking completely annihilate everybody and rise to a level where he could be that second name on any ticket that comes out. Rebel says, just based on what I've heard, Florida nominee is either going to be Byron or James. I don't think that that's going to be the issue. Jose, I gotta put it up on the screen so I can read it. It's too small. Exactly. He already got burnt once, and that's the only problem I had with him. Don't go against the king. Very true. Sweet says if Donaldson wins, that was a typo. If Donald wins the primary, so if Donald wins the primary, so will I. But AIPAC is my sticking point with Donald's. Look, I agree. The money from AIPAC, and we went over the whole Israel thing in the beginning of the show, I think it's a huge problem. It's not going to be, it might be like nonchalant. It might be like, okay, we don't care. Like again, I go back to the people of the villages. Florida's a retirement state. Let's remember that. Like those people don't give a fuck about AIPAC. You know, they probably don't even know what AIPAC is. You ask them, they probably don't know. And even if they do know, they're probably like, yeah, Israel's our greatest ally, but that's not going to be the case within the next 5 or 10 years, which I think is a long game. So I think that we need to really assess things, and hopefully on this show, you guys get to take a look at least 2 of the candidates that I'm setting up interviews for. And you guys get to decide who, and maybe I make a decision based on that. You know, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you right now, I'm supporting the Republican nominee for the next governor because I'm not going to take a fucking liberal running a state that is solid red. It's not going to happen. This isn't going to turn into fucking Kentucky.
No.
So this is definitely not going to turn into Kentucky. I no. You're not going to be a fucking deep red state with like fucking Andy Bashir.
Yeah, and if it does, Jake Lang is going to do something about it.
I don't think Jake Lang is going to be doing something about much for the next fucking 4 years. He's going to do more time. He's going to do more time in these little stunts than he did for his J6 stuff. I don't want it to happen. You know, I don't wish that on anybody except like actual fucking liberals. Like I want them to be put in prison. But I don't want to see it. But he just keeps fucking up, man. He just keeps going out there doing stupid shit. Things that I don't agree that he should be getting fucking arrested for, the terroristic threats. And I heard what was the terroristic threats. It wasn't pointed, and it wasn't really even a terroristic threat. He said something along the lines, if the judge doesn't do something in this case, I will. He's not threatening the judge. He's not really even threatening anybody. Right, because it's very vague.
It's not even really it's not even really an indirect threat.
Yeah, so like he shouldn't be in jail for that.
Well, considering Carmelo Anthony was out on what $250,000 bond in the same county for murdering somebody in cold blood, I think there's an argument there to be made.
Yeah, and Sweetwater Bayou liberal, a leftist freak, haha, no. That's my point. You're either going to get somebody endorsed by AIPAC on the right, or you're going to get somebody endorsed by AIPAC on the left, and a rather right-winger.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to show them that you got to, but I'm not willing to risk that for a Florida governor, dude. That's my state. If it was another state that I don't live in, I'd be like, yeah, fuck that. Fuck that guy.
Wouldn't it be true though, like to say that we always bitch about, you know, this person can't win, but it would be so great that if he did, isn't that what the primary is for?
That's what the primary is
I mean, if people go there and vote for Fishback in the primary and he wins the primary, that's a real fucking statement. And that statement can be had. It's a win-win for people like us because if Byron does win, well, great. You know, awesome.
Yeah, you'd prefer, a lot of people would prefer, a lot of people in our circles, Reno included, Reno worked for the campaign, would prefer, you know, to that Fishback won the primary, right? Obviously, whoever you pick, you prefer to win the fucking primary. I get that, but yeah, we always say that we're like, oh, I wish we had somebody like Fishback in office.
Well, vote for him in the primary.
If that's your choice, I'm undecided. I'm completely undecided. Like I'm not even leaning a certain way.
Right.
You know,
I get it.
I'm not going to sit out. I'm going to make a choice. If it's like a 0.02 advantage on that person, I'm going to check the box.
I mean, anything could happen from now until then. We still got a little bit of ways to go. I mean, Fishback could be seen in a video kissing the wall. And then, you know, it's like, okay, well, they did it again.
Yeah. And he's changed his views on a couple things, and the things that he has changed his views on is fair.
Look for a toucan pin. If you see a toucan pin on his lapel.
What is up with the toucan thing? I don't
got
get
like
it.
a big snout, like the big thing, and then the nose, I think, the toucan.
Yeah. Here to kind of close it out, let me make sure I have all my tabs. Oh, here's another thing about Fishback. Last thing I'm going to say on this. Let me share this screen really quick. This is actually pretty fucking cool that he did this. Much respect to Fishback for doing this. Fishback says, I just signed a legally binding contract under penalty of perjury. The terms are simple. If I break any one of my promises as Florida governor, I cannot run for re-elections. Politicians in both parties have lied to us. That ends with me. The fact that he signed this, and it's not a virtue signal. I can't zoom in on this. I don't understand why it doesn't let me zoom. Does it let me zoom? No. Wait, let me see. Oh yeah, it does. I commit to reject any donation from AIPAC or any organization that lobbies on behalf of foreign nations.
There
I
you
commit
go.
to never trade any company's stock during my time as governor because no public official should be able to trade stocks and profit from insider information. I fully oppose data centers in the state of Florida and hereby commit to never sign into law any measure that authorizes, subsidizes, or facilitates new data centers here. I stand for healthcare freedom and hereby commit to never sign into law any measure that mandates vaccines, requires masks, imposes lockdowns, restricts the movement, worship, or livelihood of any Floridian under the guise of public health emergency. I support free speech and hereby commit to never use the power of the governor's office to enforce any statute that criminalizes free speech, including speech about any foreign nation. I commit to defend the Second Amendment and to never sign into law any measure that restricts the right of law-abiding citizens to keep and bear arms. I believe life begins at conception. I commit to never sign into law any measure that expands abortion access in the state of Florida or provides funding for any abortion clinic. This is, I'm not a lawyer, but this is pretty legally binding because what ends up happening is somebody will challenge this when he tries to, if he wins, to run again, and they could be like, "Well, he signed it in the contract," and I think it's very possible, and I don't think he gets if this gets out, which it will, if he wins and he doesn't keep those campaign promises, I think people won't vote for him because of that. So, would Donald sign the same pledge? I don't think so. I don't think it's ever been done.
No, not that I can ever recall.
And that's what's great. He's like very creative, right? He's very creative in the ways he does things. Maybe he got the idea from somebody else, but I have not seen that. I don't want to claim that, but I think nobody's done this before. It's like, I won't run for president if I break any of these rules, which is his main campaign promises. So I think, and he didn't just say, it wasn't a document that said, hey, if I break any of my campaign promises, he signed a contract and said, these are my campaign promises.
Right.
Fuck you. If I go against them and I sign these into law, like, I will not run again. So I think, and Rebel Serena says, why isn't this just a requirement? And I think it should be. I think it should be a requirement to like put on paper what promises you're going to make to the people, and you won't get power if you don't comply with those promises. In other news, let me bring this up. Obviously, Barry and most of our audience knows that the SPLC has been indicted, and they just got recently superseded indictment, which I said was going to happen. I said that was going to happen, that they were going to get superseded, and they did. But there's a character in there that pushed against specifically the Proud Boys, and I find the latest news on this fucking hilarious. Let's put this up on the screen. This is a retweet from Gavin. This bitch was obsessed with the Proud Boys and did everything she could to ruin their life. She's still part of the some bullshit hate watch site. Let's hope she finally gets a taste of her own medicine. Now, the SPLC was not only trying to fuck the Proud Boys, they were also trying to fuck. I'm going to be careful when I say this. Other right-wingers. Literally. SPLC boss funneled $1.2 million to lover in neo-Nazi group. Perry even had a joint bank account. This fucking white liberal was banging fucking Nazis.
Nice.
I use that term very loosely.
Yeah.
Was banging the Nazi,
Look
which
at
is this is a story of all liberal women. They hate people so much, they hate us so much that they want to fucking bang the shit out of us. But this bitch is so unbangable, right? I could only imagine who she was banging and what group. I'm not going to go through the story. You guys can find it.
She definitely looks like she was a BLM supporter's side piece too.
Yeah, but she was probably tired of that.
Yeah.
She was probably tired of it. Her kink, can you imagine? Like she puts on the Hugo Boss with the fucking Totenkopf fucking hat. And
Yeah.
I would. Or get banged by some dude in the costume. I find this story hilarious. Yeah. So SPLC boss not only gave 1.2 million to this guy, she was sucking his dick. This is
pretty typical of your liberal bullshit.
Yeah. A whole bunch. I'm actually not going to say that right now. But this is common. This is common where liberal women throw themselves at right-wing men. Right-wing men that they say they hate.
Yeah.
It's a common occurrence.
Well, they tend to their men aren't really choice select, so
yeah, you want to bang like the alphas. Like
yeah, they got to improvise.
Yeah. What are you playing judge here? That's what the judge told me. I like to take note Enrique Tarrio is smoking his 6th cigarette while on stream.
God, what a loser. You counted that?
Reno. This is called accountability. Now, I don't know what he means by this. I don't know if getting banged by fucking some right-winger is accountability. She was being held accountable. Sweetwater Bayou. They are Democrats. The party of the KKK always has been, always will be. This is correct. Go ahead and I'm gonna start closing out here. I got a shit ton of things to do. He must be, what'd you say, Jose? He must be Nurse Ratchet. Tell him you want your cigarettes now. You got anything to add?
Nope. I think you covered it all, man.
Okay. Kim told me to tell you guys, go to leftovernews.com. She has a couple exclusive stories on there. I've shared them on my page. Go ahead and take a look. She's been a writer for a long time. She's written for multiple outlets, including the National File. Our friend Kim just had a beautiful baby boy, and his middle name is Henry, which I thought was fucking great that she named him after.
Congratulations, Kim. Obviously, the kid was born with some flaws, but who's not,
Barry, you got anything coming up? Any plugs?
No, I'm going to be doing a live segment here soon.
Okay, that's enough. CarioBook.com. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
About the Carmelo Anthony backlash from the black community and how I think it needs to really be homed in on, called out, because it's just disgusting. The reality of it is Carmelo Anthony's parents should go down in history as the monsters that they are. But what will happen is that won't happen because a majority of the black community will regard them as heroes because Austin was white. And that's just something I think we should hyper focus on for a little bit.
Okay. So a couple things. I've booked actually a whole bunch of pre-records for this week and the beginning of next week. Hopefully I booked those 2 pre-records for Jay Collins and James Fishback. But besides those 2, all the people that I've booked, and I've booked like 5 or 6 interviews, they're all women. All women. So guys, step it up. You gotta step it up because I'm finding women to be extremely effective in today's day and age in politics. One of them is my really, really good friend, Sarah Fields. We're going to be going over not just like her arc, her character arc, because I've known her for about 6 years. We're going to dive into like specifics, like other things that she's done. Because when I met her, she was just like a person that like just was on Twitter, and she became like this amazing investigative reporter. She dives deep and she's a person that focuses. If she latches onto you, she won't let go. So I want to talk to her about her career arc and her coverage of the Carmelo Anthony case and all the threats and all the things. I think I don't worry about a lot of people. I'm actually worried about her. These people are really going after her. They're doing a lot of personal stuff, like you usually get attacks and some of them are personal. Like all of these are very personal. So I fear for her safety. But she hasn't stopped because of it. As a matter of fact, all it does is it's made her a lot more resilient. I'll also be talking about two people. One who was weaponized against. She's going to be in studio tomorrow. Here locally in Hialeah, she was a council member here. And they specifically targeted her. And her story is actually really crazy because the crime that she was accused of usually gives you a lot of prison time. But she was given probation for it. And that was an offer. It's not like she rolled over on anybody. But usually it gives a lot of time. And what that leads me to believe is that they just wanted her out of office.
Sure.
And she was weaponized against. I'm going to go over her file now just in a little while. After I take care of the million phone calls, my phone hasn't stopped. And I'm also going to bring in Ether, that you met. It's a Cuban mom. I have to ask her, but I had told her, so I'm going to see if I could schedule her in this week to talk about her daughter and what over sentencing has done to her and her family. Very amazing, resilient. Somebody that like reminds me of my own mom when I was locked away. Stark advocate for her daughter Elizabeth. So I'm going to do that. So another way that 2 ways that you could support me right under me is a link to thetariobook.com. It's my personal memoir. I wrote 14 composition books while I was in prison, and we're putting it together as a memoir. God help the editor, which is working on it now. She has to read all my horrible handwriting. I lost a couple of those composition books. But if you want to support me, and I'm not saying financially, I'm hardly making any fucking money off of it. If you want to listen to my story and support my work, tariobook.com. And you could go to 1776.shop and purchase, I'm muting you just in case you want to interrupt me. You go to 1776.shop, go ahead and click on vendors and click 1776 official, which is the best t-shirt shop in the 1776 shop. It's not the American Rise. Don't buy anything from there. I'll roast you for it. As a matter of fact, if you buy something from the American Rise, I will email you insults. I will email you personal insults, and you'll have my personal email where you could respond to that. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Anything else, Barry?
I think you just told everybody to go to the American Rise.
God, I was trying to mute you before. Thank you guys for tuning in to the War Boys Studios News Brief. If any news occurs from here to Friday, we'll have another episode. Tonight, I believe Ethan is up with his new show at 7 or 8 p.m. I'll be posting that soon. I got to call Ethan and see if he's going to do a show today. But I think
Punch him in the face.
it's
with
his
Ethan
new show,
Ordean.
Punch him in the face. The Real Man Show. All right, brother. I am out. 3, 2, 1.
Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend she's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I know a dirty word. Hello.
Prosecutor said Ethan Nordine was the undisputed leader of the group that day as they tried to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
An FBI agents arrested Proud Boys former national chairman Enrique Tarrio at this home in Miami. By 2 this afternoon, he was in federal court.
Here we are now, and